Because we have some important topics today. You are about to start the program. Welcome to Opoku TV once again. Now the topic for the day is I want to discuss with you people who is an ideal wife. Last month we were talking about how a man can treat or how a man can turn his wife into an angel. We talk about some of the things that as a man you don't need to do to your wife or your girlfriend. Today I want us to look at who is an ideal wife. When you say ideal wife, what does it mean? When you say ideal wife, what does it mean? Who is an ideal wife? And what are some of the responsibilities? What are some of the things that a woman do can be classified as an ideal wife? So the definition for ideal wife is a person who gives a little freedom to her husband and take care of him. An ideal wife is a person who gives a little freedom to her wife and take care of him even until the end of their life. He take good care of the man. He give little freedom to the man and take care of the man. So a wife is considered to be in one in all, who does many tasks. So as a wife, you have many tasks to perform. Taking care of the children, preparing food for the family, and also assisting or supporting the husband in taking care of the children or the outbringing of the children. So I want us to look at some of the things that as an ideal wife, what you are supposed to do as an ideal wife. What are some of the things that can keep or help to keep your relationship? Some of the things that you do, it helps to keep your relationship. The first one I want us to look at is, as an ideal wife, you have to express your love to your husband. Expressing your love as an ideal wife, expressing your love. But I want to ask this question first. Do you love your wife? Do you feel happy and safe when you are with him? So, as an ideal wife, the first question I want to ask you is, do you love your husband? Do you feel happy and safe with him? That's the question that I'm asking. So, as an ideal wife or a responsible wife, someone who gave little time to little freedom to the husband and take care of the man even till death. So such person, as a woman, you want your husband to treat you well, to love you, you have to express your love to your husband. You have to express your love to your husband. So the first question that I ask, and I'm demanding an answer, leave your answer on the comment section. I need your answer there. Do you love your husband, and do you feel happy and safe when living with him? That's the question I want us to just answer it ourselves. So if you have committed to spend a lifetime, with a man through nuptial, you must love him. But loving is not enough. A relationship thrives well on the expression that love among other emotions. So if you love your husband, tell him and show him how much he means to you. Tell your husband you love him. Tell him, sweetheart, baby, I love you. And I'm always happy to be with you. Anytime I'm by your side, I feel so safe. And I'm proud to have a husband. I love you so much. Tell your husband that you love him. As you men also, you have to tell our wife that you love them. This, when you do that, your husband is going to be proud of you. You don't have to make elaboration expression of love every day. Not every day that you have to tell your husband I love you. No, don't need many words. But it could be just a little gesture, such as a kiss or peg. It could be a kiss or a peg. Like when your husband returns from work, then you just meet your husband on the front. You hug him and you give him a peg or a kiss, either on the cheek or the forehead or the lips. You give him the peg after you take the bag. This is enough to show that you love her, or you love your husband. Not need many expression or elaboration. Just a kiss or a peck could be enough to express how you love your husband, how much you love him. The next one I want to look at is very, very important in every relationship. It's very important in relationship. Marriage is communication. In any relationship, communication is critical. In every relationship, communication is very, very, very critical. And marriage is no exception. Throw away the misconception notion that a partner is supposed to know what the other one think and want. There are some people, they say, since I have been staying with you throughout, you have to know what I like, what I have been thinking. No, you are not in your husband's mind, and your husband too is not in your mind. Even though he may know your like and dislike, you too may know his like and dislike, but what he will be thinking of, you may not know. So sometimes you have to take time, just communicate with your husband. Don't be only just talking alone, but you have to be a speaking and listener also. You have to listen to what your husband too is saying. You have to pay attention to what to hear or to listen to what your husband is saying. So open communication in marriage means that you tell your husband what you think and feel and what you expect of him. Talk to your husband. Ask, say, discuss. Avoid the silent treatment which can make things worsen. Don't leave your husband guessing what you want, and avoid assuming or imagine. Some could say, baby, guess what I want, what I need. Don't leave your husband to be guessing. Always, you have to ask, talk, and you have to also discuss with your husband some issue. So that's another point. That's point 2. The next point I want us to look at is, as an ideal wife, you have to be supportive. As an ideal wife, you have to be supportive. You have to be there to support your husband. Don't let your husband be in need of maybe or financial need before you help. No, if you have the help, or maybe you'll be financially strong or financial sound, but your husband may not. So what you have to do is, you have to motivate him. You have to stand by him. You have to praise him even in times of difficulties. Being supportive in a marriage is not just about being there when the partner is having a difficult time. No, it's not like that. It's about appreciating and praising him when he achieves a milestone or when he overcomes his fear and trials. Supporting is not always saying good things. It is also about offering constructive criticism to encourage him to improve whatever he's doing. For example, being supportive of your husband's new business idea. Maybe your husband has come with a business idea. So by being supportive, you can at least help to boost his morale. You can help to boost his morale, and it's going to help him to just be financially sound also. So communication is very, very important. Expressing your love and also being supportive to your husband, not only in terms of difficulties, but always be there to be supporting your husband. Because as a lady, the Bible even says that God created man afterwards. He created the woman so that the woman will be his helper, the man's helper. That's what he says. So the next one I want us to look at is, as an ideal wife, you have to respect your husband. Respect is very, very, very important in any relationship and our marriage also. So as an ideal wife, you have to respect your husband, no matter whom he is, no matter what the situation will be. either he's rich, poor, disabled, whatever, you have to respect him, respect his decisions, and respect whom he is. Mutual respect in marriage is a must. In marriage, respect is a must. It's a must. And do not belittle or humiliate or strike or harm your husband, whether in private or public. Wherever you be with your husband, you have to respect him. Respect him for whom he is, either in public or in private. Don't try to harm or humiliate him. It kills his spirit. So that's the next one. The next one I want us to look at is you have to show an interest in his interest. You have to show an interest. Showing an interest in his interest is also one of the good things as an ideal wife you have to do. Not everything that your husband like you could show interest. You could even give your husband the space to persuade his interest and show curiosity about what he's doing. Ask him. Sometimes you have to ask your husband, what's your hobby? What game do you like watching? What game do you like playing? Which book do you like reading? So sometimes you have to even choose, you have to select his favorite movie and watch with him. You have to play like the game that sometimes you have to play the game that he likes with him. Like me, when I was in Ghana, my wife used to play with me Ludo. I like playing Ludo. So my wife sometimes she don't like playing Ludo at all, but because sometimes you see me just sitting there like I deal with the Ludo, he will just sit behind me and you start playing the Ludo together. Sometimes she don't like football. I like football. He likes watching movie, but sometimes he will just, when there is a football match and I tell her that today there will be a football match between Barcelona and maybe Real Madrid and it's El Clasico. Say no problem. When it's time, you just turn the television there. He will be sitting by my side with her head on my lap like this, and you will be watching the football match together. But she don't like, but you want to show an interest in my interest. So as an ideal wife, you have to show an interest in your husband's interest. Sometimes you have to cook his favorite meal, his favorite breakfast or favorite lunch, whatever. You have to select and cook for him, whether even if you like or don't like. Like me, my wife, I attend Pentecost and I'm also an Adventist. So sometimes there are some food I don't eat, but he also eats. So you have to cook the food, select some of my favorites. I like jollof. You have to prepare it for me. Sometimes he asks me, sweetheart, today what would you like me to prepare your favorite? I say, okay. Like that. So sometimes as an ideal wife, you have to show interest in your husband's interest also, and it's going to help build the relationship. The next one I want us to look at is you have to respect his need for space. You have to respect your husband's need for space. Space is a concept that few people understand. Every person needs his or her own space. Even married men need their space at times, and many want to retreat to their man cave. Respect that, give him some space and allow him to pursue his hobbies and interests. Not every time you want your husband to come close. Sometimes you have to give your husband some space. Let him watch his favorite movie. Let him watch or play the game he wants. Let him read his favorite book or novel. Let him play the game. That sometimes every human being needs space, sometimes like that. So at least you have to, as an ideal wife, you have to give your husband some space. At least that is going to help. The next one I want us to look at is very, 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 very important. And that one is being appreciative. As an ID wife, you have to be appreciative. You have to appreciate what your husband what will do for you. The little thing your husband can what do for you. Not that he has done much, but you have to show appreciation to whatever your husband has done for you. Even for the children also in the house, for taking good care of you and the children in the house, you have to take you have to be appreciative. You have to praise and encourage him to do more for you. By praising him, it means you are encouraging him to do more for you. And by doing so that you are going to enjoy your marriage. So you have to, as an ideal wife, you have to appreciate your husband's effort. Sometimes, excuse me to say, maybe in bed, maybe your husband, after giving it to you or having sex with your husband, you have to thank your husband for being there for you, how he has been given to you. Tell him that you really like what he has done. Don't just go and, like, if you ask for something and he give you because you are his wife, and you not even say thank you. No, you have to say something, say thank you or whatever, to help or to show your appreciation, that you really appreciate what he has been doing for you and the kids and even the family and your parents also. That's it. The next one I want us to look at is you have to pick, as an ID wife, you have to pick the right fight. This right fight that I didn't say you should go and exchange bros. No, that's not it. Do like every couple, they do fight. I want to ask this question and I need the answer at the comment section. Who knows a couple that have not fight again? Married couple that they have not fight again at all. They have not fight at all since they became couple. I want to see that at the comment section. So there is, it's everywhere. Even pastors, they do fight with their wife, but they pick the right fight. So as an ideal wife, you have to pick the right fight. Marriage is about two individual or two differences, unique individual who has come together. So there is always there is disagreement and some differences that can sometimes lead to some fights. So, and those fights, if it's too many, it can strain the relationship, or even it can just bring about divorce. That doesn't mean you cannot compromise, or you can't compromise whatever, but you can compromise whatever. But what you have to do is at least when you see that it's going far, then at least you just stop. Sometimes when I have some exchange of words with my wife and I see that it's a lady, so sometimes it can lead to some big issue, I just leave. Maybe I'll go outside, then I come, then I ask, sweetheart, what have you cooked for me? Say, oh baby, your food is on the table, dining table, like that. So that's how it should be. So you have to pick the right fight. It means you have to think and pick your fight wisely. Ask yourself, it is worthy fighting for? What's stopping you from compromise and let your husband have his way sometimes? So that's how it should be. You have to, as an ideal wife, not every issue that you have to entertain so that it can bring about fight, which is very, very, very bad. The next one I want us to look at is, as an ideal wife, you have to be your true self. As an ideal wife, you have to be your true self. If you are not comfortable with who you are, you will not be comfortable revealing your true self to your partner. Being your true self in a relationship right from the beginning, being true to whom you are, also being about being honest with your husband, and that help build a good relationship. You have to be honest with your husband. You have to be honest with your husband, and you have to be whom you are. Don't say this, a friend of mine is doing this, a friend of mine is having this, her husband has bought this for, no, like this, so you too be the man. No, be your true self. Be whom you are. You cannot change whom you are. You can change it, but ask about the effect of it. That's it. So that's what I want us to look at. The next one I want us to be looking at is, this one is very, very, very important, and we men, we want to hear that. We men, we want to hear that, and it's very, very important. Is, as an idea, you have to get creative in bed. You have to get creative. One thing that all men want to know is that they are good in bed. Every man want to know that he is good in bed. He is good in bed. That's some of the one thing that every man want to hear. You need to hear it often to boost our confidence and make us feel like the man. Like when after giving to my wife, and my wife say, "Hard, sweetheart, you are very, very, very good in bed," like that, I feel proud, and it boosts my morale, confidence. So sometimes, as an ideal wife, you have to just be creative in bed. You have to be creative in bed. Some will say like being creative in bed, like my man is very, very strong. Some will say my man is very, very strong when he's giving to me, like that. Every man want to hear that he's good in bed, like that. So ladies, try to appreciate that. Try to appreciate that. The next one I want us to look at is, you have to express your feelings and needs. Express your feelings and needs. As an ideal wife, as an ideal woman, you have to express your feelings and your needs. We are individual, unique individual that you have come together as a couple. So you have to express your need and your feelings. Your spouse doesn't have relevant power. If you want something, you have to ask. If something is wrong, say so. If you want something, you have to, maybe you need money to buy something for yourself, you have to ask your husband. Don't let your husband be guessing like, no. You have to ask. If something is not going well, you have to just say it. You don't like it, you have to say it, like that. Don't drop hints or figures that will come around, or you will never get anything done. If you want to be able to express how you feel, you should be able to speak with your positive tone and to listen to what your spouse say instead of being accusatory. Here are some of the ways you do it. So like maybe you want something like money to buy a clock. You say, "Oh sweetheart, today, oh, I saw something this, how I wish I could get it like this." Say, "Oh, maybe I don't have money. If I have like this." If your husband say he don't have money, don't force your husband. Don't force your husband to get it for you by force, but rather just even thank him for listening to you, like that. So don't force like that. Yeah. The next one that I want us to look at is you have to be understanding when you are discussing an issue with your husband. When as an ideal wife or a woman, when you are discussing something with your husband or discussing issue with your husband, You have to be understanding. You have to understand. Fight, right, fight. Or you have to fight, right? No, don't need to fight. Don't let anger take over because it may cause you to say something that you will regret later. So don't, because you are angry, then you'll be just throwing your hands on your husband like this. No. If you let anger to overtake you, you will come, you are going to look something special. You are going to, maybe your husband will go and he will not come back. You will be apologize to him and he will not take your advice. So you have to understand when you are discussing an issue with your husband. You need to respect their opinion and their viewpoint. To be a good wife, you need to understand that you may never agree on certain issue. No couple has an identical set of morals and belief, which means that both of you will come to learn to cope with occasion when you just can't solve or resolve your opinions. So that's how it is. You are both, you are different. You are all different. So sometimes there will be some small differences, but try to understand. When you ask something from your husband and he's not getting for you, you have to try understand him when he explain to you. And we the men also no need to shout at our ladies or our wife, our girlfriends, because they are asking something that you are not. No, don't need. Just use polite way that will cool her temper. That's it. The next one I want us to look at too is talk to your sponge, not about them. You have to talk to your sponge. You have to talk to your husband as a D wife. You have to talk to your husband. Never talk to your friend or your family and say negative things about your sponge if you are not communicating with them first. Never say something negative about your husband to your friend, your family. No, it's not good. It's not good. So your husband may not like what you're doing. So never try to make any negative comment about your husband. Talking about your spouse or your husband behind their back is disloyal. When you get married, your first loyalty is to your partner or your husband. When you get married, your husband become your friend, your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, your everything. So you have to be loyal to your husband. You have to be loyal to your husband so that at least it will help to just maintain peace in the marriage. Complaining about your husband to your friend and family will not solve any of your problems. When you have issue with your wife or your husband and you complain to your friend or your family, it cannot solve. You just, when both of you evening time you go to bed. Yeah. Yeah. Check in. I'm in. Okay, you are welcome back. You were having some technical problems, so you are trying to fix them. That's why we paused, and so forgive us, viewers. Everything will be okay. Okay, you are welcome back. I was talking about talking to your sponge and not about them. You have to talk to your your married partner, your husband, and not telling your friends, your family, others people, or third party about the problems in the marriage. Especially ladies, they do this one. They do this mistake. You go into the man. My husband is giving me only 10 riyal per day. Then the lady, maybe the husband is not giving that. So the lady will be very, very jealous of you. You'll be very, very jealous. So you will say, only 10 riyal for a day? My husband is giving me 50 riyal. Maybe it's not like that. He's not even getting that. But he's just saying that so that it discourage you. That's it. Please prompt me if the video keep on pausing or like this, because I'm having technical problem that you need to solve. So if Mr. Poku, Mr. Samuel Kumsi, I've seen your message. Mr. Rans, I'm greeting you all. The next one that I want us to look at is, don't try to change your husband. Don't try. Don't try at all. As a woman, you said, my husband, because he's doing this or he's not giving me what I want to divorce and go for another guy. Don't try that. It's not going to help you. You have to accept them as they are and let them know that you will never want to change them in any way. No matter what the situation is, you are not going to change them. So let them know that you love them no matter what they are. They are a growing individual just like you are. Love them for who they are and they will love you unconditional in return. So as an ideal wife, you have to love your man whom he is. Accept that you and your husband are not the same person. They won't always see the world the same. So you have to accept that you and your husband, you are not the same person. So you cannot see the world together. What you have to do is you have to love him whom he is. Now the next one that I want us to look at is, accept that having children changes relationship. Having children, it changes relationship and marriage. You and your husband or your partner relationship will undoubtedly change and evolve once you bring kids. Once there is a kid in the marriage, things started changing. Things started changing. That doesn't mean it changed for the West, but it would mean that you will be spending a lot of your free and focusing on your child instead of each other. You know, before, when you married and you are not with kids, you can have attention for each other. You can focus, go out anytime, go to some places. But immediately there are kids, your attention changes. It doesn't mean that it's going to change for the West, but it's going to be changed because of the kids. Now both of you, your attention will be on your kids. How you take good care of your children. That's how it's going to be. So you have to at least take note of this one, and you have to accept your mistake. As an ideal wife, you have to accept your mistake. There are some petty mistakes that we do in our relationship that is killing our marriage, our relationship. No need to repeat this one. Is that you don't accept our mistake. This one happens the same thing like in Genesis chapter 3 verses 9, when God created Adam and Eve and put them in the Garden of Eden. He just plant two trees in the middle of the garden. That's the tree of knowledge of good and bad and the tree of life in the middle of garden. And God instructed them not to take anything or eat from that tree. They can eat everything in the garden, but at that tree they shouldn't. When they were deceived by the serpent, and Eve ate the fruit, and he gave some to Adam, and Adam also ate it. And when God called, that's in Genesis 3:9, God called, where they are. When God called them, he said, Adam responded, you have hide because you are afraid. God asked them, why have you eaten the fruit that I told you not to eat? Then they started, instead of them to accept their mistake and ask for forgiveness, they started using some words to defend themselves. Adam said that the lady that you gave me, and Eve was saying that the serpent deceived her to eat, like this. So as an ideal wife or a good or an ideal woman, you have to accept your mistake. You have to accept your mistake. If you want to be accepting as a wife, then you have to be able to accept your partner's mistake. If your partner make mistake and he apologize, you have to accept it. You have to accept his apologize for doing something wrong, as long as it doesn't compromise you in a big way. If you hold a grade too long, you won't be able to appreciate the good things about your partner. The good thing about your partner, so it is the best to accept their apologize, talk about how they won't upset you again in the way, and move forward instead of harboring resentment about the past. Accept your own mistake too. Don't be so focused on being the perfect wife, and you can admit when you at least when you also go wrong. That's how it should be. When your partner, like he do something wrong to you, you have to just, and he's apologizing, asking you for pardon him. You have to accept the apology, and find way that he will not repeat such mistake again. That makes you a good wife, an ideal woman. That's how it should be. So don't argue on this one. You have to accept the mistake that your partner has told you, and know that you cannot be a perfect wife when you don't accept or admit your wrongdoing. Sometimes you are a human being. You cannot be 100% perfect. Sometimes you, the woman, also you make a mistake. So remember that when you make a mistake and you ask for forgiveness from your husband will forgive you. The same way you also have to do that. When your husband asks for forgiveness, you have to forgive him, and let's move on in life. As simple as ABCD. The next one I want us to look at is, you have to be your partner, either your boyfriend, your husband. You have to be his best friend. You have to be his best friend, no matter what. You have to be his best friend. You have to develop through intimacy and unconditional acceptance. That's demonstrating a willingness to be vulnerable and be confident that your relationship can withstand conflict, because there is no way that you are not going to get a conflict in your relationship, or at least there are some petty things that you'll be arguing about. So that really it will come. Enjoy your share stories and your inside jokes. Sometimes I do share some jokes and some story, whatever I have passed through with my wife, sharing some stories with her. have taken her as my best friend, my everything. So she also has taken me the same way. So you have to make sure, as an D wife or a D woman, you have to make sure that you let your man be your best friend. You have to let your man be your best friend. Even though, like, your husband being your best friend doesn't mean that you cannot have any friend. You may have other meaningful friendship in life, but at least let your husband be your best friend. And this one too is very, very important. I like this one too. You have to create shared dreams. You have to create shared dreams. You have to never lose sight of the dream that you share. When you dreams, including retiring to a warm climate, or taking a trip abroad for your 20th anniversary, 5th anniversary, 6th anniversary, whatever. Never forget to just share that dream. Sometimes some will say, sweetheart, I dream, and you are on a way to maybe a honeymoon, a trip to Dubai, a trip to Qatar, a trip to UK, like that. So you have to create a shared dream. You have to create a shared dream, which is going to help your relationship also. It's healthy to have your own dream along with your sponge, but you should make sure that none of your dreams are completely conflict. Like some people, they will dream, say, when I dream, then today you are fighting. No, don't dream about fighting. That one is not good. Don't dream about fighting, but dream about something that will be very, very meaningful to both, for the life of both sponge. The next one I want us to look at is you have to maintain your own identity. You have to maintain your own identity. Make sure you still have a fun and interesting life. If your partner left tomorrow, will you still have your own friends that you see at least once a month, hobby clubs you go to, or sports that you play? If not, your partner will always be working to fill a void they cannot fill, and will find inadequate when you are fulfilled as an individual. So if your partner think that they are the only good if your partner think that they are the only good thing happening in your life, then they are born to feel trapped, continuing to pursue the hobby or interest that were meaningful to you before the relationship. So sometimes, before you like maybe football, and you're married, like me, I like football from my childhood. I still like football. So I maintain my identity. No matter what, I like football. My wife like watching seasonal movies like this. So I cannot stop her, because let's assume that if I'm not there, now that I'm not there with her, what are some of the movies he's going to, or some of the hobbies he's going to enjoy? So if when we married, then I told her that I don't like this, no. So you have to stop. That one is not going to help. And one thing is very also important is you have to work together to manage stress. You have to work, both couples, you have to work together, and hard work pays. Not that only you will be just sitting there as a woman, or the woman, you'll be sitting there for your husband to work every day to put food or something on the table. No. Men and women deal with stress all days and every day. Do what you can do, help each other deal with the stress of every life making. make sure that you are able to cope with your own stress, will take pressure off of your marriage. If one of you is chronically stressed out while the others doesn't understand why, then you have a problem. So when you see your partner is very stressed and you don't even understand why, it means it's going to bring a lot of problem. You have to help your spouse manage their stress by talking about it and treating them with extra care when they have had a rough extra when they have a rough day, instead of making him feel worse by being angry that they are tired or withdraw. When you are stressed, let your partner know how you are feeling so that they can pick up the slack and work around the house and help you out. That's the best thing. So it's very, very good to be in a relationship, marriage, but there are some of the things that as an ideal wife you have to do. There are a lot. You continue from the next day. So these are the few that you have learned, and you continue from the rest. So you started from a D wife. Who is an ideal wife? An ideal wife is a person who gives little freedom and take care of the husband to the end of their life. And we talk about what makes someone an ideal wife, or what can make person become an ideal wife. You talk about expressing your love as a good wife. You have to express your love to your husband. Tell him how much he means to you, how much you love him. And you have to communicate. Communication is very important in every relationship. There should be communication between you, and you have to listen to him also. The next one is you have to be supportive. As an ideal wife, you as a good wife, you have to support your husband financially, physically, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, everything. You have to support your husband in the even in the outbringing of the children too. You have to respect the person your husband is, either is poor or rich, whatever he is. Respect your husband. We talk also about showing an interest in his stress, showing an interest in his stress. And you talk about respect for his space, and also you talk about being appreciative. Whatever your husband will do for you, you have to appreciate that. You have to just say appreciation. Even not every day you have to just say this, but a little thank you, saying thank you, or giving a peg or a kiss to show your appreciation. You have to be your own. You have to be your true self. You have to be creative in bed, and you have to express your feelings and needs. Don't let your husband to be guessing what you need. No, 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 no. That one is not good enough, at least. And you have to pick you have to pick your battle also. Be understanding when discussing an issue with your sponge. You have to be understanding when you are discussing some issue with your sponge. You have to understand, listen, and listen very, very well, and understand what your partner is telling you. Maybe you are asking something from him, and maybe you don't have, is not having, and he's trying to explain to you. You have to accept it. You have to talk to your partner, not about them. You have to talk to your partner. Don't don't make any negative comment about him in public or private. If you have issue with him, just solve it in the house. When both of you are on the bed, you just confront him. See that, my husband, there is something that you did that I never like. Don't go outside and complain of the problems in the marriage to outsider. No, they cannot solve this one. Both of you can solve it amicably. So you end today, and We are going to continue, if God permits, Friday. Friday, don't forget to meet me, because Friday, the topic that you are going to discuss is very, 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 very important. So you have to meet me and let's share our ideas. Let's share ideas, learn something. You are learning something. That will make our relationship very strong. That will make our relationship very, very like the chemistry. We have something called the ionic bond, and yes, ionic bond. I like this one. It will make it make it bond ionically, and so the Friday topic that you'll be discussing is very, very, very nice topic. So don't forget to meet me on Friday. Friday 5 5 p.m. exactly. 5 p.m. sharp, then you have started. The topic that you are going to look at is, you are going to look at some of the qualities of a good wife. The qualities of a good wife. As a good wife, you have to possess some qualities. So what are some of the qualities? These are some of the things that you are going to learn. That will help build our relationship very, very, very strong. Very, very, very strong. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for the family of Opoku TV to grow big. We love you and we thank you for your time, for listening to us. But don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. When I started, I asked a question. That this question, it goes to be both men and women. That, do you love your wife or do you love your husband? Do you feel happy and safe to live with your husband or your wife? Answer. I need this one. I need the answer in the comment section. Let me know your idea in the comment section. Do you love your wife or husband? Do you feel safe and happy to live living with your man or your woman? Let me know your idea at the notification bell. Thank you for your time. We shall meet on Friday. Bye. Connect. Wow. Connect. Sitting in my beer body will be ready.